Hello guys, welcome to my channel Anime Universe. Each year comes to a close. Year we bring a list containing in itself the best of the best anime videos. This time we are showing you the best released video which the public and I like the most. I wish you will have fun. Number 10. Eminence in Shadow. The protagonist of this tale is Sid Kagano, who as a child dreamt of one day becoming a sinister mastermind, one who pulls strings from the shadows. Unfortunately, this dream of his came to a temporary halt with his death. Luckily, the ambitious boy is reincarnated into a fantasy world, one where his aspirations are not too far from reach. In pursuit of this goal, he concocts his own imaginary group, the Shadow Garden, enlisting young Alpha by fabricating a tale about a vile organization called the Cult of Diabolas. He soon finds himself in an unwelcome power struggle after discovering against his will that the fictional cult actually does exist. After that, Sid's only goal becomes to enlist new teammates and guide his team against cult diabolics. Number 9. My Isekai Life. Yudasano. A normal overwork corporate worker with piles stacked at his desk finds his life quite miserable. Luckily all this changes when at work, his PC flashes an invite and in an attempt to restart it, he gets teleported into a fantasy world. Still unsure of the absurdity of it all, Eugene takes it for a dream. But all this changes as he realizes his tamer character class, giving him the ability to control beasts range Frost Medium. Now a tamer, the young man luckily stumbles upon a horde of slimes, and as it turns out, the slimy devils had read countless magical books, allowing Yuki to absorb it all and unlock a new character class, and thus was bored. A new Isekai protagonist. Number 8. Black Summoner. Upon his reincarnation into a new world, Kelvin finds his memories lost to a bargain. During his transmission into this fantasy world, the goddess Elfina, his facilitator, provides him a choice to have overpowered abilities and an S-class title, all in exchange for but a fragment of his memory. Along with these abilities, he also is given the choice of a partner with whom he can travel and prosper. Kelvin, finding the goddess mesmerizing, chooses her as his partner and thus is reincarnated into his new world. Now an adventurer alongside him, Elfina, Kevin begins his new life. But for him to provide his goddess a physical body, he must first collect significant mana points. Number 7. Lycoris Recoil Indicate Name. Direct Attack is responsible for keeping the peace in Japan, thanks to their untiring efforts. Terrorism is at the lowest ever recorded. This secret syndicate recruits young orphan girls and trains them in the art of assassination. Among them an exceptional Lycoris. Find yourself in an unpleasant hostage situation, which result in an act of insubordination, causing her transfer out. Number 6. Shangri-La Frontier. This fantasy tale takes place in a near future where VR games have become the norm. Due to the hype of these hyper-realistic games, there are several trash games rushed in with mini glitches. Our protagonist Rokuro Hizutome is one who's known as a completing of another trash game. Rokuro decides to change things up and after a long time decides to play the most in-demand game Shangri-La Frontier. Here thus begins a new experience from glitch-filled games to the most popular and realistic story of the time. Will he dominate this game like the rest? Or will his skills obtained from trash game be of no use against the terrain and beast of Shangri-La Frontier? Number 5. Reborn. To master the blade, from Heroine to extraordinary Squire. Heroine English, a divine knight blessed by the goddess Elysia, lived both as a hero and a king, having built with his own hand the mighty kingdom of Sylvari, slaying the dark gods of the land. He himself lay foundation on which this prosperous nation now stands. But upon his deathbed, having served his people his entire life, English has but one regret: not having lived for himself. As they say, goddesses work in mysterious ways. Hearing his plea, the goddess Elysia smiles upon her humble servants, reincarnating him in a distant future as the daughter of a small noble. Now, with a new beginning, English is set to accomplish his dream. To be only a noble squire yet marks the start of yet another extraordinary tale. Number 4. Handyman. Saitō. In another world like many, this tale too has not a very good beginning. The story involves a normal human living the life of a handyman. Even though these skills of his help others on a day-to-day basis, no one yet seems have understood the importance of a handyman, leaving him felt underappreciated. But all this changes one day as a titular character is transported into a world of fantasy filled with magic and dungeons. But how can a powerless Saitō be of help in a dungeon? As fate sees fit, the handyman skills of Saitō are more appreciated in the treacherous terrain of the dungeon. Hence, the once neglected Saitō begins his new adventure along with the game of peculiar adventures, finding appreciation and normal maintenance work. Number 3. 5 Skeleton Knight in Another World. 1 sudden day, a gamer wakes up in another world as his in-game character arc intrigued. He tries to comprehend the reality of this happening. That's when he witnesses his skeleton reflecting in the water. Concerns that others might be afraid. Arc equips full body armor hiding his skeletal appearance behind a helmet. With this, he sets out to explore this new land of fantasy with an arsenal of overpowered ability. Skeleton Knight in Another World delivers yet another intriguing undead main character with good pacing and an ever-engaging plot that doesn't shy away from anything. An arc may not be the greatest undead protagonist, but he certainly is in the upper ranks. Number 2. Reincarnated as a Sword. This is a tale of a talking sword in search of its rifle wielder. The blade in its previous life was a young man who passed on by the grace of Truckun. But in death, our MC finds another chance as he's reincarnated as this majestic weapon. And while he recollects everything from his past life, same is not for his own name. In the same universe, Bran, an enslaved catgirl from the Black Cats tribe, is traveling with her masters when their caravan is attacked by a vicious two-headed bear. Running away from it, Fran discovers a sword stuck in the forest ground. Using this overpowered blade, Fran slays her enemies in a fringe of results. Now bestowed with the name Teacher, the two embark on an epic journey together. Number 1. Lycoris Recoil Indicate Name Direct Attack is responsible for keeping the peace in Japan. Thanks to their untiring efforts, terrorism is at the lowest ever recorded. This secret syndicate recruits young orphan girls and trains them in the art of assassination. Among them an exceptional Lycoris. Find yourself in an unpleasant hostage situation, which result in an act of insubordination.